Guys, hear me now?
Sure can. What's up?
Alright, thanks.
What's your beef
It,
or discussion?
my discussion is about criminal. My discussion is about about connecting social groups and crime. Like, why do certain why do certain racial groups or certain gender groups commit more crime? Like, for example, why do
Hmm.
black people commit more crime than whites, or why do uh, males commit more crime against women? And I already know the answer as to why. Like, am I like? Can you like clarify this answer for me? Is it true that black people are socioeconomically more poorer than white people are?
Hmm.
Is that is that a fallacy, or
No,
is it a false statement?
no, that's correct.
Okay, so does socioeconomic if you're poor, let's say, so if you're poor, are you more likely to commit more crime than, let's say, a person who has more money?
Yep. Did you hear me?
All right.
I said yes.
Yeah, yeah, I can.
So what's your question?
My question is, why are black people so poor, and why are they economically down below? And is it an exaggeration to say that black people are so poor that they can't afford to live,
Hmm.
or am I going
Would
a
you
bit too
would you
far?
say that? Do you think that there are rippling effects to slavery?
Rippling effects,
Yeah.
like being like being traumatized to do labor, as in like
Being
you don't want to do work
traumatized?
because yeah,
No,
that
I'm saying
because
like rippling effects, right? Like let's say you end the slavery, right? Do you think that
yeah,
there could be additional effects there other than just ending slavery? Or you think like as soon as that slavery is ended, they're good to go? No more
yeah,
effort needed.
that's what I think. Because once you don't have to work for nothing, then you're free, pretty much.
Okay, so do you think that education has a factor in the outcomes of your? I'm sorry. Do you think that education is a factor in the outcome of your success?
Of course, it's like without education, you
Would you say
get no
that
knowledge.
having an educated set of parents who would, do you think that they are more or less likely to push you into a higher education if they're educated?
Like if they're in an educated family, or are you trying to say like if you're in an educated family, they're gonna like push you into like elite universities or colleges? Are you saying that? Well,
No, I'm saying like, do you
yeah,
think that like you're more or that you would be more or less likely if your parents are educated that you would go to college?
yes. I don't find it um, ironic because like educated families tend to send their kids into more higher education.
Yeah, they tend to do that, right?
Yeah,
Would you also say that going into higher education means you can get paid more?
depends. Like depends on your field of experience. If you want to do certain jobs that pays you more wages and stuff, then that's up to you. What's your profession? That is, if you want to be a, let's say, if you want to be a plumber, then if you don't, rather than going to a college, then go to like a technical school where you get trained and get skilled for being a plumber, stuff like that.
All right. Give me a quick moment, okay?
Yeah.
So, if you look this up yourself, people who attain a degree, any degree, often end up getting paid more. And that's in 2024 numbers. Right?
Yeah.
Do you need me to provide stats for that? I mean, I could.
Sure, you can.
Or would you just take me at my word for that?
Well, no, you can provide me the stats as well, but
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Like, there's no denying that people with more degrees get more money, get more salary.
Okay,
So
so here's the kicker. You agreed that if your parents are educated, this increases your probability of being. Wait, there's one more thing actually.
okay.
Do you think a slave, after they have been freed, would they be more or less educated than someone who is not a slave?
After they have been freed. After they have been freed. Hmm.
Let me help you out. They've been in the field all day.
All right.
Now they're free to do what they want. Do you think that they have an education? They've been in that field since 8 years old. They're now 24.
Working in the field all day.
Yep. Do you think that they would have an
free.
education? Do you think that they would knows how to reads?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not. They can barely talk.
Yeah.
So if they have so you agreed that, okay, that if they have gone through slavery, they would likely not have had as good as an education as somebody who was not a slave. You also agreed that the probability of you going into a higher level education would also be lower if your parents did not get a higher education.
Of course.
Do you see how this has a cyclical effect of poverty here?
Okay, so I working the fields all day, not getting no education, and your family isn't educated either. So
Yep, your family is not educated. That family ends up growing up, getting kids. That the parents are still not educated. Then those kids have now. That's not to say that somebody couldn't effectively pull themselves up by their bootstraps and make their way to college, but the point is that the probability is lower. Which means, since that they are not getting a higher education, they are poorer. Since they are poorer, they commit more crime.
gotcha. So like lack of education gets more crime.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
Did you have any other questions for me?
yeah, regarding the gender part, regarding gender crime. My subjects are all about like connecting crimes to certain groups stuff. So from race to gender and class and whatnot.
Yeah. What you got?
All right. All right. So my question is, we all know that men commit more crime than women do. Not saying that women can't do it; they can, but males have more of a statistic of they're much more higher in the statistics. So, am I true that that males are genetically more big, they're tough, and they have more of a higher probability to attack someone, be it a male or a female? Let's say a female at night. Am I going too far with that theory, or am I over exaggerating with that theory that yes, that men commit crime more than women because men are genetically more X, Y, and Z, yada yada. So, am I true on that?
Well, would you say that there appears to be a correlation between people with high testosterone to aggression.
High testosterone to aggression. If we're talking about like stuff like depends in the sense of like if you're using steroids, then yeah, it's gonna cause more aggression, really. Otherwise known as roid rage, then yeah. But if we're talking about testosterone as in working out naturally, then I don't think so. It's not gonna cause aggression to a certain extent.
So you would say that they're not correlated,
Yeah.
but they are.
Like even naturally, like growing body.
Yeah, having more testosterone, people are more aggressive around it. That's not to say it causes it. I've changed my opinion on it. I used to think that it causes it. It's correlatory, or rather, it's kind of hard to tell whether or not it's caused or if it's correlational. But the point is, at minimum, it's correlational. We can observe this, okay? And so if men tend to have more testosterone, that would mean that they're more aggressive. Because they are also more aggressive, that would mean that they would have a higher propensity to commit violent crimes. Boom. Is there an issue with that?
Not really. Testosterone. It is, but it's implying that people with high testosterone means you're a bad guy, pretty much, which I do not necessarily agree with. Neither do you, so.
Neither do I to what?
You're saying that people with more testosterone leads to more aggression.
No. I said that they are correlatory. They're correlated, right? They are correlated. We don't know if it causes it or not. It's mixed. There's some studies that say for sure. There's others that say that it's hard to tell.
It's like it's a double-edged sword. Like you can't tell whether they're aggressive.
But the point is that, generally speaking, if somebody has more testosterone, they would likely also be more aggressive. And so since there are men tend to have more testosterone, that would mean that they would likely be more aggressive. So men tend to have more testosterone than women. Right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You got anything else for me, buddy?
Thinking. What else is it? Ooh. Am I allowed to talk about international diplomacy and conflict?
Sure, if you want.
So I've been hearing this news a lot since 2019. Prior to this, back in 2014, there were people saying that, oh, Trump is a pro-Russian agent, blah blah blah, X, Y, and Z, and I brushed out just some BS and stuff. But then I looked up closely now, and there is sort of a Russian collusion connection between the Republic and stuff. So now I just need someone to talk to me about it. Is it like true, or am I going on a conspiracy level right now?
I'm sorry, what are you asking exactly?
Asking about are the Republicans being an ally of the Russians? It's really.
I mean, some might say that. I don't necessarily agree to that. I guess it just depends on what you refer to as like an ally.
Like foreign interference in an election.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there's some indication, but there's really not a whole lot for me to work off of. Did you have anything else for me?
That's about it. That's all I got now.
It's good talking to you, man.
Thanks. You too.
I'll try to get your video uploaded.
All right.
Follow me on YouTube. Hold on a sec.